Hello everybody, it's Cobalt here and welcome back to another video. These past couple days and today especially, I have been super busy preparing all of my stuff last minute for LPS Con, but in today's video I'm finally going to be revealing all of the customs that I will have for sale at a vendor booth that I'm sharing with Tiki's LPS Customs. I've mentioned this before, it is her vendor table, but she was kind enough to let me borrow a little section of it, so I'll be popping in and out periodically with all the stuff that I'll be selling. So without further ado, I have so many customs to show you guys in this video. Let's get right on into it. Alright, so I'm going to break this video up into a couple categories. As you can see, some of these customs are still in bags because these are all customs that have previously been up on my eBay shop. So I'm just going to show you guys these really quick. We have this Cocker Spaniel, we have the trans Pride Panda, we have the non-binary Pride Panda, which has now been fixed. We have this little spider puppy, this dragon, and finally this purple cat. If you want to know more about any of these customs, go watch some of my previous custom collection videos and I will talk more about them and give you a full turnaround of all of them as well. Alright, here is another pile of bagged LPS customs because these are all technically ones that I have shown before. They're old, I didn't make them specifically for the con, I just figured that this could be a good way to get rid of them. But with these guys, if they don't get sold at the convention, I'll probably just keep them in my collection, whereas the other ones that I'll be showing you later, those will all go up on my eBay if they have not sold yet. So I'm going to be starting with these from oldest to newest because some of these are pretty old. The first one that I have here is this old custom of Eddie Kasprak from It, inspired by his design in the movie. As you can see, this custom is not painted super well because this guy was made back in 2018. I did sign it on the bottom. But with this custom, he is made from an authentic short hair cat, and I sculpted his hair, his clothes, the little cast on his arms, and the tail, since the space figure did not have a tail. Even though this is one of my human style customs, and usually now they would go for a decent amount of money, this guy's going to be fairly cheap because of how old he is. I still think that he holds up well, and I would still be happy to keep him in my collection, but I do eventually really want to remake him, so I figured this would be a good opportunity to sell this guy and get me motivated to make a new one. Next up, we have this demon character, which is made from a hippo base, and I sculpted the skull on the front and the eye sockets glow in the dark. I also sculpted these horns on it. I sculpted these rib cages on both sides and this bone tail that it has. I call this guy the Jester, but if you buy it, you can do whatever you want with it, call it whatever you want. I actually tried to sell this custom in the past, but I ended up just keeping it because I do love this custom a lot, but I think that he probably would be better off at a new home. But again, if he doesn't get sold, I would be happy to hold on to him. Then we have this fancy ferret custom. It is made from an authentic Generation 2 ferret, and I sculpted his little bow tie and his little top hat. This guy was made in 2020, and so was the previous custom that I just showed you. Then we have a custom from 2021. This is honestly one of my favorite customs. This is a custom of Steve Harrington from Stranger Things Season 3 in his Scoops Ahoy outfit. I love this custom so much, but the back is not holding up too well. I really hate the way that I sculpted his hair. I think that he looks great from the front, and I love the way I sculpted his clothes as well, but it's just the back of the hair just does not do it for me anymore. So this is another custom that I definitely need to remake for myself. And again, I figured if I can sell him at LPS Con, that would be great. If not, it's fine. I'll just hang on to him until I end up making a new one for myself for real, and then eventually he will be for sale. So if I'm gonna be honest, this guy still holds up decently well, and he is better looking than Eddie, but still not as on par with the human customs that I would make today. Next up, we actually have one of my newer customs, and I love this custom a lot, and again, I would be happy to keep this one, and I wasn't originally planning on selling this custom. I'll actually take him out of the bag because I don't know if I've properly shown him before, but this is a custom of a clicker from the Last of Us game series. I made this one to celebrate when the show came out. I absolutely love both of the games and the show so much, and I just think that the zombie designs in it are so cool. And again, I love this custom. I put so much work into it, and this is definitely going to be the most expensive one that I'm planning to sell, but you know, I didn't really sculpt it as well as I could have. I definitely sculpted it well, and it looks nice, and it's painted nicely, and it definitely screams clicker, but I think that the shape of the mushrooms on the face aren't where I want them to be exactly, if that makes sense. So I want to end up remaking this guy, and again, I figured I might as well just sell him now. My favorite part of this custom is definitely the mouth. Like, look at how tiny those teeth are too. I'm super proud of this custom, and I hope that if somebody decides to buy him, he is going to a good home. And if you're curious, it is made from a head swap between a Great Dane body and a chinchilla head. So you can see the chinchilla ears here. He is a bit top heavy though because his head has a lot of clay on it. And finally, we have these two customs also from 2023. These two have been shown in my 3D printing videos because both of these LPS are 3D printed. This one's pretty heavy, this one's pretty light, so they feel different than normal LPS, but this one is one that I printed and was entirely painted by me to look like one of the prototype Great Danes. I have a video all about this LPS if you want to check it out. And then with this one, the only things that I painted were for the black details in the eyes, but this was me taking the same Great Dane model and experimenting with it a little bit. So I gave him horns and spikes and some cheek fluff and some eyebrows and some claws and this cool tail. I also have a video talking about this one because I made a video showing this cool color changing 3D filament that I have, and basically when you turn it you can see the color changing. So since these are not actually LPS, they'll be on the cheaper end, but I also wanted to sell them as well. So if this is something that you guys would be interested in, you can go ahead and buy them. If these two don't sell at the con, I'll be keeping this one, but this one will be going up on my eBay. Okay, now it is finally time to show all the LPS customs that I've been working on for the past couple of months in preparation for the convention. So all these are brand new. You have not seen them anywhere except for this video. And first up, we have this collie. The only thing that I sculpted on this collie was the tail because I had a bunch of extra clay, so I decided to give it a mermaid tail. And other than that, it is just a monochromatic blue color theme, but it does have these cool purple and pink eyes. I wanted to experiment with the eyes on this one and do something different, and I feel like they really stand out and pop, and it makes it really look like some kind of cool siren or deep sea creature. And not too much to say about this one, but I do love the pattern around the eyes as well, and I think that this was a good one to start off with. None of these customs I'm going to show you are too complicated, but this one probably does have the biggest sculpted piece. And with the rest of the customs, I'm going to try my best to show you them in order of oldest to newest of when I finish them, but we'll see how well that goes. Next up, we have this Great Dane, which I showed a work in progress of in a video where I was showing you all the customs I was working on. So this is my little chocolate ship Great Dane. I think that he's very cute. I love his colors. My favorite part of this one is the eyes. I love the colors of the eyes, and I just love the way that I painted them. I think that he turned out super cute and sweet looking, and he also has this cool diamond pattern on his chest, and here is what the bottom looks like. Then we have this little puppy. It is made from one of those mini fake LPS that is a collie head and a golden retriever body. If you're not familiar with these LPS, here is a size comparison to a normal sized one, so very small. And this is like a little puppy with some mud on it or some freckles. I don't really know, but I think he looks cute, and I like the color of the eyes. So this one will also be on the cheaper end because he's just a tiny little guy. Then I have a realistic style LPS made from a German Shepherd base. It's a bit messier than my normal realistic one, if I'm going to be completely honest, but I still think that it's cool. And it was originally going to be inspired by a blue healer because I made a blue healer custom with the same kind of technique on the same base figure, but it wasn't really working out, so I kind of just went crazy. So it sort of looks like one, sort of looks like some other random dog. I'm not really sure. And it also has purple and brown eyes, which I think are really cute, and this little freckly nose. And here's what the bottom looks like. It's got some little pink toes on it. And then we have another German Shepherd custom. This one is quite different. It is blue and teal and purple. I wanted to practice some gradients, so I did some gradients on the ears and on the body, but if I'm gonna be totally honest, the gradients do not look good, so that's why I covered it in little stars. So it's got some glittery stars all over the ears, some stars on the legs, one on the chest, some little star eyebrows, and even some stars in the eyes. And I made the eyes in sort of that, like, I guess, checkered pattern that some authentic LPS have, and I think that this one looks pretty cute, but this again will be on the cheaper end because it is not the greatest paint job in the world. I mean, it's still smooth and it still looks fine, but it could be better. Next, we have another collie custom, but this time with a paw-up collie base figure. The only thing that I sculpted on this one was the hair, and I also put some little star glitters in the eyes and painted this star shape on its forehead, similar to the Great Dane that I showed you earlier with the star on his chest. And I think that this one turned out really cool. It's just a gray and black collie, and my favorite part of this one is definitely the fact that I painted the underside of the ears. Anytime you paint a collie like that, I just think that it makes it look 10 times more adorable, and it also has some little pink toes as well. Next up, we have another smaller LPS. This is made from a husky puppy base figure. It's from a fake husky puppy, and originally I was going to use this LPS for something else, but I decided to scrap that and just paint some random designs on it. And I think that design on it looks really cool. It also reminds me a lot of this LPS collie, which happens to be one of the ones that I'm trying to find at LPS Con. It's not super similar, but it's just like the cream base figure with the dark brown on the face just reminds me of it. And continuing with a similar idea, we have another little custom that was also originally going to be for something else for myself, but then I scrapped that as well, so I just made it into a custom to sell that is made from an authentic LPS kitten. And I originally just had it be brown, but I thought that was boring, so I added some blue in it, added some little stars on it as well. And it's got some blue in the ears, blue nose, and the blue toe beans. I think that this one looks very cute, and he's so tiny and adorable, and I love it. Next up is this cat, which is another custom that has quite a few sculpted parts. This is made from a Generation 5 Angora cat or long-haired cat, and I've always been really fascinated by these base figures because of their tails. They have this tail that's sort of like flat on the top, and so with that one I decided that I wanted to sculpt something on the tail, and I ended up going with this naturey theme, so I added sculpted a little mushroom on the tail. There's also a mushroom here on the head, and then there's some little shelf fungus on her tail as well, and then some moss that I sculpted. What I also really love about this custom is that I decided to use a pink base color, because normally when you see like earth themed or nature themed customs are always green or brown, but I thought that the pink or like this dusty sort of rose color would make it look super cute, and it definitely does, and it makes the mushrooms like stand out really nicely, and the mushrooms are also shiny, and I love her eyes too. I wanted to do something else experimental with the eyes, and I painted some little mushroom shapes in there. I think that this custom turned out really cool. It's definitely one of my favorites, and I think a lot of people are going to like her a lot, and it definitely makes me want to do something similar to this in the future. Here's another Kali custom. I'm gonna be totally honest, this one is probably my favorite out of all of these new customs I'm showing you. I don't know why, because he's kind of boring, but something about this custom just like turned out so nice to me, and I just love the color palette. He really reminds me of like a cool like foresty wolf. I just love it a lot. It is a head swap between a fake Europe collie and an authentic laying down husky, and I sculpted these two little eyebrows on his head, and then I sculpted this fluffy tail, and I love the way that I painted it. He also just reminds me a lot of like autumn and Halloween and stuff like that, which is my favorite season and favorite holiday, especially with the eyes and with the orange and red in them. And again, his design, well, I guess his design's not super simple, but I mean, it's simple but detailed at the same time, and I just think that it really works out a lot. So I hope that this guy goes to a new home. He's also got some painted paw pads that are black to match his little black nose. Then we have another collie head swap. It is a fake collie head on a authentic crouching cat body. This is a head swap that I've never tried before, but I thought it turned out really cute because I actually did a custom with a crouching cat head on a collie body, and that was cute, so I figured this would probably be cute as well. And it has two sculpted piercings on its ear, and one of them I painted a little four-leaf clover on it, and then it also has some sculpted hair here, and I just went with some cool red and pink colors on it. There's a couple little heart motifs here in the design on the back, and this heart shape sort of around the eyes, as well as hearts in the eyes, and not my favorite one, but I still think it's cute. Next up, we have another head swap custom, which I think turned out really fun. It is an iguana head on a German Shepherd body, so a totally weird head swap, but I think it really worked, and it is supposed to be a little baby dragon or something like that. So the stuff that I sculpted on this one were the horns and the spikes on its head. The frill here is part of the original LPS, so I did not sculpt that part, and I also sculpted these scale freckles on it. It also has them on the legs. I sculpted this tail here, and I also sculpted the wings on both sides, and I just wanted to go with the green and purple color palette because I love that color palette for dragons, and it's a bit similar looking color palette wise to this one, but also different. They could be brothers or something, I don't know. Then we have the short hair cat custom because I've got quite a lot of dogs in this video, but not too many cats, so I decided that why not make a short hair cat custom. She is also very simple design wise, but I made up for that with the sculpted little sweatshirt. It's a color block hoodie, which I think looks adorable, and I just wanted to go with a lot of pastel colors. And there are those star glitters again, which this time I used as earrings because I thought that she needed a little bit more blue in the design somewhere on the head, and I think that it looks super cute. Here's what the bottom looks like. No paw pads on this one, and even though the design is super simple, I think that it really works out, and she also has this sculpted hair here. Alright, we are now down to the second to last custom. This is another Great Dane custom, which also happens to be the same color as this one, but he is different. So those ones honestly could also be brothers too. But this is a pride themed Great Dane. I just wanted to make a Great Dane with a mohawk, so I gave him a rainbow mohawk that I sculpted. I also sculpted these piercings on his ears, and I sculpted this sweatshirt on him. He has some more glitter on his design. He has two little green star glitters in his eyes, and then one that is heart-shaped on his sweater. I think that it looks adorable. I love this custom a lot. Again, his actual like animal design, I guess, is quite simple, but I made up for that with the fact that he's got this crazy hair and this colorful sweater, and I think he's adorable, so I hope that you guys like him too. And now for the final custom, which is a clown-themed little bunny. Even though this is the final custom that I finished, it was actually one of the very first ones that I started back in June, but for some reason it just took me a long-ass time to complete. But I think that it looks adorable, and I love the fact that instead of using black in the eyes, I use this dark red for like the eye pupil and the outline. I think that that makes it look really cute, and I just love making customs with this primary color palette and these like bright colors. I think that it looks so cool, and I definitely want to make more clown-themed customs like this in the future because again, I think it's super cute. I know a lot of people like them, and I also just love the color palette. But I could also do some like pastel ones in the future as well. I think that could be nice. Well guys, there you have it. I have a ton of customs that I will be selling at LPS Con this year. If you are not going to the convention and any of these interest you, everything that is not sold will be going up on my eBay eBay shop after the convention, aside from the ones that I specifically said I would not be relisting. If that is not your thing, or the custom that you're most interested has been sold already, you could also commission me to possibly remake one of these guys or make something similar to it over on my Etsy shop, also linked in the description. And if you made it this far in the video, I want to show you a couple other things that I'll be selling at the convention. I'm going to be selling stickers. These are all stickers you can also find in my Etsy shop, but they will also be discounted at the convention, so you can get one for $3 or 2 stickers for $5. I will also be selling some 3D printed things aside from the 2 3D printed LPS that I showed already. I will be selling these rainbow wolf heads and these full body wolves. They're very similar to how I draw Cobalt, but it just doesn't have the hair, so looks like Cobalt, but it's not Cobalt. But these are all things that I have 3D modeled myself and then I printed out, but they are in very limited quantities. So if you want one, you better head over to the booth as soon as possible or come find me. I can sell them to you. The heads are going to be $5 because they are not super perfect and I don't think they're as interesting. And then the full body ones, even though they're a lot smaller, they will be $10 because they take longer to print and yada yada yada. But you can buy these, keep them how they are, or paint them yourself. And if you decide to paint them yourself, I would love to see them. If you post them on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, be sure to tag me because I think that would be super, super awesome. Anyways, that is all that I want to say. I'm dreading editing this video because I know there's so much stuff that I just recorded, but I hope that you guys are excited to see all these LPS. If you're going to LPS Con, let me know down below in the comments. I cannot wait to meet you, and I will see you guys all later in my next video. Bye!